What is Gemini? Gemini is Google's AI-powered assistant. Think of it as your intelligent helper that can answer questions, write content, generate ideas, and even help create visuals based on what you ask. Gemini on the web, your main access point. Let's start with the most direct way to use Gemini on the web. Just type Gemini in the Google and go to gemini.google.com, click in here. Here you will find a simple chat interface. You can type in a question, task, or idea, and Gemini will respond just like having a conversation. Bookmark this page. In here you can click on that and click done. So when you just click on plus icon to new tab, and here you can have Google Gemini, and when you click on that you will have the interface like this, and you can close the previous one. Gemini in Google Docs, your writing sidekick. If you open a doc and see this one, help me write prompt or little star icon, that's Gemini. Here Gemini is focused on writing support. You can ask it to start a paragraph or section for you, rewrite something more clearly, fix the tone or shorten your writing, create a rough draft from a short prompt. This is especially helpful when you are stuck or just don't know how to start your assignment. Example, you can just write a prompt in here, you can click on that, and you can have a planning document or party planning or employee onboarding guide as well. When you just click on templates, then you will have all these templates available. You can use any of these, or if you want to write a prompt, you can click on that. Example, you can try typing it in here as write a summary of an event organized by the team and it happened yesterday, and click on create. So you can have all these columns and rows and tables as well. You can just click on insert and you can just edit that according to your data that you have. Gemini will generate a draft directly in the doc. Gemini in Gmail, smart email writing. Now let's move to Gmail. If you have noticed the star icon while writing an email, you can just click on compose, and here is that icon, star with a pencil, and when you click on that, you can give it a prompt as per your need and requirement. You can use it to start an email, change the tone to make it more formal or friendly, shorten or expand your message, translate or rephrase text. For example, you can write an email as a thank you email to the manager for promotion, and you can click create, and here is an email that it can be edited and refined as well and recreated as well. So you can use any of these, and you just have to rename the manager name in here and new position as well. Gemini on mobile, on the go help. If you use an Android phone, you may see that Gemini is starting to replace Google Assistant. You can talk to it, type prompts, or even use voice commands. And for iPhone users, while it's not fully integrated, you can still use the web version in your browser and get nearly the same experience. Gemini in slides and sheets. Bonus: in Google Slides, Gemini can help you generate speaker notes. By clicking in here, you can give it a prompt as per your needs. You can create a slide to congratulate our team by just clicking here. So you have got the slide, and you can retry that or insert that as well when you just click on insert. So the slide has been inserted in a few seconds. In Google Sheets, it can assist with simple formulas and organizing data more clearly. What is a prompt? Let's start with the basics. A prompt is just a message or instruction you give to Gemini. It could be a question like, what's a good way to start a cover letter? Or a task like, summarize this article in 3 bullet points. Why prompt quality matters? Let's look at 2 examples. Prompt A. You can give it a prompt in here as, tell me about climate change, and press enter. This prompt will give you a generic and an explained result, here you can see. But when you give it a prompt in here as prompt B as explain climate change in 3 to 4 sentences using simple language for high school students, and press enter. Both prompts are asking about the same topic, but prompt B sets clearer expectations. It gives Gemini structure, length, here you can see 3 to 4 sentences, audience, high school students, and tone, simple language, like this one. The result, a much more useful answer. That's why prompt quality matters. The AI is smart, but it's not a mind reader. Why follow-up questions matter? Let's start with something simple. Gemini gives you answer based on what you ask. But even the best first prompt doesn't always cover everything. That's where follow-ups come in. Let's say you asked Gemini as summarize the causes of World War One, and you press enter. Gemini might give you a good overview, here you can see. But you want more on alliances? Or maybe you want it explained in simple terms for a classroom presentation. That's where follow-up questions make a difference. You might say, as a follow-up, can you break down the alliances part in more detail? And you just press enter. Here you will have only the alliances part, and the other follow-up prompt could be, now explain it like I am a high school student, and you just press enter. Each time Gemini tailors its answer. You are shaping the conversation just like you would with a tutor. Tips to make follow-ups work. Tip 1. Be direct. You don't need to rephrase your whole prompt. Just tell Gemini what you want more of. Tip 2. Build off the last answer. Treat the conversation like a thread. You're not starting over. You're building on what came before. Tip 3. Don't be afraid to try again. If Gemini misunderstands, rephrase your follow-up. It's okay to try different angles. Example in action. You can give it a prompt as give me ideas for a group project on impact of climate change on Earth. And you just press enter. Gemini response, focusing on specific ecosystems and regions, and focusing on specific impacts. The third one is focusing on solutions and mitigation or adaptation. The fourth one is creative communication, focused projects. And these are the tips it has given. The first follow-up prompt could be, can you expand on this one, like if you want to have any specific, for example, let's assume this one, and you just copy that and paste it here, and you just press enter. Gemini response, it gives a full plan, goals, materials, timelines, and the ways to mitigate that. Methodologies, output, research questions as well. So you will have everything that you really need for a group project. Now, the second follow-up prompt could be, now write a two-paragraph summary we can use in our project proposal, and press enter. Now you have taken a broad idea and turned it into something ready to submit. That's the power of thoughtful follow-up. Using Gemini to brainstorm research topics. Sometimes the hardest part of an assignment is picking a topic. If you're starting at a blank screen, try this. Prompt example. You can give it a prompt as, I need to write a paper for my sociology class. Can you suggest 5 research topics related to social media and mental health? And you just press enter. Gemini will give you a list of ideas. Here you can see you have 5 different topics. From there you can follow up. Follow up prompt could be, which one would be the easiest to find sources for? And you just press enter. It has chosen this one, the presentation of self and social comparison on visual platforms. And here's the reason why. And you can follow up as, can you give a short explanation of each topic? So here is a short explanation of each topic that it already has suggested. This process helps you move from no clue to clear direction quickly, getting simple explanations of complex ideas. Let's say your professor mentions something like operant conditioning or supply side economics, and it just doesn't stick. Try asking Gemini as, explain operant conditioning like I am in high school. And you just press enter. So it just explains everything in detail. And if you want a summary, you can follow up with, as summarize this in a single paragraph in simple words. So here's the explanation of operant conditioning in a simple paragraph. Or if you want to learn about supply side economics, then you can just go to new chat and ask it as, can you give me a real life example of supply side economics? And you just press enter. This turns abstract definitions into clear, relatable explanations you can actually understand and use. So this is the real life example of supply side economics, and you can read that out. And if you want a summary, then you can ask it to give it a summary as well. You can also ask Gemini to explain something in multiple ways. For example, now explain it in one paragraph. Now explain it in one paragraph, and you just press enter. You have a single paragraph of supply side economics. Or you can follow up with as, can you turn this into 3-point summary? And you just press enter. So you have 3-point score theory, key policies, and mixed outcomes and debate. Summarizing articles and readings. Gemini can also help make sense of long readings. You can either paste in a paragraph if it's not too long, or ask for a general summary of a topic. Prompt example. You can give it a prompt as, summarize the main arguments of Judith Butler's theory of gender performance. And you just press enter. So it has given you the summary of the topic that you have already given it as Judith Butler's theory of gender performativity. So you can just summarize that as well into a single paragraph as well. But if you want to go with another prompt as, what are the key takeaways from chapter 3 of The Great Gatsby? And you just press enter. Here are the key takeaways from chapter 3 of Great Gatsby, and you don't have to read all the chapter, and you have all the summary in here as well. Important. Always double check summaries against your original sources. Gemini helps you get the gist, but it's not perfect. Outlining and organizing your work. Once you have picked a topic, you can use Gemini to help structure your ideas. Prompt example. You can give it a prompt as, can you help me outline a 3-page essay on climate change and youth activism, and press enter. You will get a basic structure with introduction points in here, body ideas, and conclusion. You have conclusion in here as well. The conclusion should have these points. From there, you can revise or ask for more details. You can also ask by giving it a prompt as follow-up. Can you turn this outline into a rough draft, and press enter. Here is a rough draft of the outline that is already has written in here. So you have the introduction as in here. This is the body paragraph, and conclusion is in here. And you can ask for the thesis statement as well. You can give it a prompt as, what would be a good thesis statement for this essay? And you just press enter. So here is the thesis statement that it should be for that specific essay that it has drafted in here. And it has given 3 options as well, like you can choose. For example, this one is the first one, and the second one is option 2 as in here, which emphasizes on impact and agency, and the third one is more direct on challenges and response. So you can have 3 multiple options for thesis statement. Again, don't just copy the answer, use it as a starting point. quick checks and study help. If you're studying for an exam or just need to reinforce what you have learned, you can try in here as give me 5 quiz questions on the Cold War with answers and press enter. So you have 5 different questions with the answers as well, and you can take a test as well if you really want to check your understanding and the knowledge. And you have 5 different questions, and for example you just want to try using one, for example using this question, and for example you choose this one, for example click on that, and that's right. And when you click on next, and you just the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 was a direct confrontation between which two countries? United States and Soviet Union. That's right. So this is how you can just check your knowledge and take the test. Or you can just have new chat in here and ask it as by giving it a prompt, explain the difference between mitosis and meiosis in 3 bullet points, and press enter. You have 3 different bullet points in here for the difference between mitosis and meiosis as well. These small uses of Gemini can really improve your recall and help you quick reviews before a test. Writing polite and clear emails with Gemini. Example prompt. You can write a prompt in here as write a polite email to my professor asking for a 1-day extension on an assignment. The tone should be respectful but not too overly formal. And when you just hit enter, Gemini will draft a basic message like in here. You can just read that out, and you can follow up with make it shorter, add a thank you note at the end, change the tone to be more confident, and you can just add all these in a single prompt as well. For example, make it shorter, add thank you note at the end, and change the tone to be more confident, and press enter. Now it has been a very shorter, you can say. This kind of flexibility is what makes Gemini useful. It gives you a strong first draft that you can fine tune quickly. Summarizing articles or lectures. Let's say you have read an article or listened to a lecture and need a summary. Gemini can either generate one if you provide the text or help you write your own based on a short description. Prompt example. You can write a prompt in here as summarize the key points of this article about renewable energy in under 150 words, and press enter. So here is a summary of that specific topic, renewable energy, and it must be under the 150 words. Or if you want to give it a specific topic or an article name, then you can just give it a prompt in here as help me write a summary of our lecture on classical conditioning. And the main points were Pavlov's experiment, and stimulus response, and real world examples. And you just press enter. So here's the lecture summary of specific topic to classical conditioning, and it has all the mentioned topics with real world examples of classical conditioning and the conclusion as well. And you can follow up with as, can you make the summary more formal? And now it will just write in a formal way. Here you can see it does not have any informal thing, you can see. And you can follow up with as, turn this into bullet points for a presentation. And you can just press enter. So here you have all the bullet points as you can write in your presentation. These summaries are great for review sheets, class notes, or preparing to discuss material. Drafting short reports with Gemini. Writing a short report or reflective essay, Gemini can help you structure your content logically. Example prompt. You can give it a prompt in here as, help me write a one-page report on the impact of sleep on academic performance. And use 3 key sections as introduction, findings, and conclusion. And conclusion. And then when you just press enter, Gemini will generate a draft with labeled sections. You can follow up with, as it has introduction, findings, and conclusion as well. You can follow up with these prompts as, make the tone more neutral, add one citation example, and make this more concise. And when you just press enter, just like with emails and summaries, you remain in control. Gemini helps you shape the message, but you decide the final form. So this is how it says. It has the introduction, findings as 3 points, cognitive processing and memory, attention, concentration and learning, mood and stress regulation, and with the conclusion as well. What is image generation in Gemini? Gemini, especially in its advanced versions, includes image generation capabilities. This means you can type a prompt like, create a digital painting of a peaceful forest at sunset. And when you just press enter, Gemini will produce a visual based on the description. Here you can see it is, as we have given it a prompt as sunset, it is a sunset, and a peaceful forest. And this is a peaceful forest. It is in the form of painting. Writing a strong visual prompt. Let's break down what makes a good image prompt. You want to give Gemini clear instructions about subject. What should be in the image? For example, student reading a book in a library. Style. Do you want it to look like a photo, painting, cartoon, or sketch? Color. Should it be vibrant, dark, pastel, or black and white? Mood. What feeling should the image convey? Calm, exciting, serious? Example prompt. You can give it a prompt in here as draw a cartoon style image of a group of college students studying together in a sunny park with laptops, notebooks, and coffee cups. So when you just press enter, so it has generated an image of group of college students. Here you can see, and it is in a cartoon style, studying together in sunny park with laptops and notebooks. So it has laptops and notebooks as well, and coffee cups as well. You can follow up with this prompt as make it more colorful or change it to a rainy day setting. For example, we just want to convert into a rainy day. Change it to a rainy day setting. And when you just press enter, so here you can see it is the same image, but some students are having umbrella as it is a rainy day. But in picture, there is no umbrella in here, and there is no rain as well. But here you can see the clouds, the rain, and the rainy setting. You are in control, and you can refine the image step by step. Gemini in Google Docs. Write, rewrite, and refine. When you are working in Google Docs, you might notice a star symbol in here or in here as well, or prompt that says help me write in here. That's Gemini. Click it and you can type exactly what you want help with. For example, you can click in here and you can write a prompt in here as write an introduction paragraph for a history essay on the Industrial Revolution. And you can click enter. Gemini will generate a draft directly in your doc. In here you can say, so this is the introduction paragraph for a history essay on the Industrial Revolution. You can then click rephrase to change the wording. You can say rephrase and press on refine, or you can shorten, elaborate, more formal, more casual, Britize, summarize, or retry as well. So you can just refine that and you can click on retry or click on rephrase and press enter. Ask to make it shorter or make it more formal. You can use any of these. For example, more formal. Highlight any sentence and ask Gemini to improve it. Now click on insert and this paragraph has been inserted. And you can highlight any sentence and ask Gemini to improve it. For example, you just want this sentence and click on refine and you can just elaborate it a little more and click insert. So that specific paragraph has been elaborated a little more. You can also generate ideas. For example, you just remove this text and give it a prompt in here as give me an outline for a 3-page paper on climate change and public policy. And you can just press enter. So it has 3 paper outline and introduction with definition and all these things available. And you can just click on insert, and all the things have been inserted with bullet points as well. This helps reduce writer's block and saves time during the editing process. Ask Gemini to check tone or clarity. It can rewrite a sentence to sound more persuasive, professional, or concise, depending on your need. Gemini in Google Slides. From blank slides to polished presentations. In slides, Gemini shows up a little differently. You will often see suggestions in the slide panel, especially when you are working on speaker notes or writing slide content. But here's the icon of Gemini, and you can click on that and a slide panel will be opened, and you can just give it a prompt like create a slide to pitch an idea, create a slide to congratulate our team, or what can Gemini do in slides. You can click on more suggestions and you will have other options as well, like brainstorm ideas, create a list of popular products, and make a list of ideas for a new product. But here's what you can ask. You can write a prompt in here as write 3 bullet points summarizing why students should learn time management, and click enter. So you can just click on insert, and these points have been inserted in the slide, although it has been in the back of the title. And you can just click on plus and click on insert. So you have the points in here, as this is a title slide and this should not be in here as well. So you can remove that and you can just add that in the new slide. Gemini can also help with structure. If you are building a new slide deck from scratch, you can ask by giving it a prompt in here, outline a presentation with 5 slides on digital literacy for college students, and click enter. You can follow up with add a conclusion slide and click enter. So here is the conclusion of those topics, and you can just press enter, and this slide has been added as well. So you can just delete this one. Here is the list of key skills of digital literacy, and this is the conclusion that we wanted to add. Use Gemini to rewrite long slide text into shorter bullet points. It lacks human judgment and emotional understanding. Gemini might sound helpful, but it doesn't have empathy. If you ask for advice, it can give general suggestions, but it can't truly understand your personal situation, feelings, or values. Example: you might ask by giving it a prompt as, what should I do? What should I do if I feel anxious every day? And when you just press enter, Gemini could offer breathing tips or suggest seeing a therapist, but it cannot diagnose, listen, or respond to real human emotions like a counselor or friend can.